Hello, everyone. Welcome to Aftermath. So good to see you all here. I'm your host, Hillary Z. We are live. It is Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to the show. So glad you could join us tonight. Just a spoiler warning, we will be discussing the Amber Temple of the Curse of Strahd. So if you don't want spoilers for that area of Curse of Strahd, tread carefully. Just a couple quick announcements before we get started. Of course, huge thanks to our sponsor, Forged Gaming Company. They make really good quality tabletop accessories for players and game masters alike, and they have provided us with a discount code. So if you want to get some Christmas presents for maybe your party at home or your DM, always good to say thanks to the DM before the session. Enter the code RealmSmith20, all one word, at checkout, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. Join us Monday nights for our main title show, Into the Mist, at 7 p.m. Eastern, as we follow our intrepid party as they attempt to find some trace of Argynvost within the chambers of the Amber Temple while being confronted with powerful visions from the powers within the ancient sarcophagi. If you want to show your love for Realmsmith, consider joining our Patreon. It's very much appreciated. Every little bit counts. It does take a lot of resources to do this every week. So thank you so much if you want to be there. If not, just watching and being a part of our community is a huge part of it. So thanks to all of you. So I think that's it for our announcements. If anybody watching live has any questions, let us know by prefacing it with the word question in the chat, and my moderators will find it and put it in another chat so I can find it easily. So now I would like to welcome our wonderful guest, Jason Azevedo. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, I am good. How are you?
Well, very well.
Good stuff. So how's your week been?
It's been insanity. It's been very, 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 very busy. And we're gearing up for our Champions of the Realm shoot. So actually, Joel and I I guess we'll get into Champions of the Realm stuff and a little production update. Joel and I have been, yeah, for sure. Joel and I have been putting together a shot list. And so going through the script and making sure that we have all the shots that we'll need. We are filming live in studio in LA early December. That is confirmed, and we're super excited to get it done. And because of that, there's going to be lots of things coming up in the next couple weeks regarding announcements and other sponsors and the cast and all that kind of stuff. So super pumped, super excited, and it's going to be a blast. And today in the mail, actually, I got this awesome, speaking of Forged Gaming, dice tray. Yes, this is our Champions of the Realm dice tray. It's the collapsible style, so you can throw it in a bag or whatever. It's got the Forged logo in the back, like that. And it's also got the Forged logo in the lip, if you can see that.
Yeah.
There, and then it all just kind of snaps together like that into a dice tray. And so this one specifically and the rest will be on set, played by the wonderful people in the cast when we shoot. So very excited to have those. Thanks for Gaming for sending those, and we will have a blast playing with them. That is for sure.
You can hear the quality of it with that really satisfying, like, magnetic.
Yeah, the snap. Yeah,
it's super satisfying.
Yeah.
We have previously announced that Matt Lillard will be joining as his iconic character Beetle. Our own Nora Ibrahim will be playing as Merelda. And of course, the incomparable Omega Jones will be playing Human. Just last week, we announced one of our main sponsors for the show, which I believe is a first-time sponsor for Realmsmith, right?
It is, absolutely.
Game Board.
Game Board. So the last Game Board, thelastgameboard.com. And sometimes they go by Game Board, but even still, amazing technology. Basically, it's a game board, a digital game board, so you can play board games on it, but it also supports Roll20 and all of your VTTs, and it is touch sensitive and is able to detect miniatures and such on it. So if you put a mini on the screen, it will tell you field of view, it will tell you where that mini is, it'll tell you environmental stuff. It's incredible. So we're very excited. I was a special guest at the booth at Gen Con and one of their ambassadors currently. and very, very pumped. I can't wait to get my hands on one. It was fun to play with them, and we're going to be doing a lot of that moving forward into the future with them. Lots of things brewing right now, but the big one is them being, or the most recent and big one is them being a sponsor, of course, for Champions of the Realm, and coming in as our first sponsor that we've announced. Other than, of course, Idle Champions and Dungeons and Dragons, our main title sponsors. But yeah, it's super exciting, and you will see we will be using them on the table during the show. I saw a question about that. They will be in play during the show when we film. So very excited.
That's very cool. So it's basically like a large touch screen that you lay flat
Yeah.
on your table.
Yep.
That's super cool that it can sense the minis. How does it know?
It's magic. It's 16 by 16 inches, so that's the size of it.
Good size.
And I've heard that if you just tap two together, it extends the map automatically, so you can like grid them together to make a larger play surface. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're very, very pumped.
Wow. That
Yeah.
that just sounds like so much fun. So did you actually get to like play a game on it, or were you just like kind of poking around with it?
No, we were just poking around. We were just moving minis around and kind of placing them in different places. Yeah, it was great. We were just kind of testing the technology when I was at Gen Con, but I saw lots of games being played on it. If you go to their website, it talks about all the partners that they've already been able to nail down and are working with. Some big ones, really big names. And I don't want to say any in case I give away something that isn't announced yet. So you'll have to go to their website and to their Instagram or on their social to find out exactly what's been released. But yeah, they're partnering with a lot of awesome people. And Phil and Tim and Shale are all incredible people that I got the chance to hang out with at Gen Con. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
So that's going to be the primary map for the arena for Champions of the Realm.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Very cool.
Yes.
What can you tell us about maybe what kind of arenas we'll be looking at for the show?
So all I can say is that there will be locations, of course, in the Forgotten Realms,
Okay.
with the show being placed with characters from the Forgotten Realms. And let's just say that any of the realms that are evident or present in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, the game, could make an appearance on the show as locations that these bouts are taking place in.
Cool. So they're going to be like known canonical locations.
Yes, absolutely, they will be 100%.
Okay, that's very exciting. Is there any other secrets you can tell us about Champions? Anything else?
Oh man, there's so it's going to be a flood when it happens. It's a flood, or it will be a flood of info because we had mentioned that we're trying to launch in the fall. We've had to push recording and push it. Originally, the show, what I can't say is originally the show was going to be virtual. We were going to do it via Zoom like every other show. And then because when we pitched it was during COVID, we weren't sure what was going to happen. But now that things have opened up, we've made a massive shift. So we've hired a studio with crew, like it's a thing, like gaffers and lighting people and we have an AD and it's a real show, a real crazy in-studio multi-camera shoot show, which is the first of those kind that we've done for Realmsmith. And so it's a big deal. There's a lot to coordinate, like a ton to coordinate, including craft services and all this stuff that we've never had to really consider before. And then not just that, but then managing everybody's schedules and everything, getting people out to LA if they're not from LA and all of that. So, we're talking to some pretty awesome people, still kind of nailing down some of the specifics. But I can tell you it's going to be like nothing anybody's ever seen in this industry. It really is something very unique, very fun. And, I think the thing that I'm the most proud about for this show and the way that we do it is that, it's no secret that combat on live stream, in a live stream format, is sometimes the most kind of bogged down, I don't want to say boring, but bogged down part of the game. It tends to become a little monotonous with the initiative order,
Yeah.
and obviously depends on the DM and so on and so forth, but it is one of those things that tends to drag. And so we said, haha, you want a challenge? Well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the most bogged down, kind of almost, tedious part of a live stream, which is combat, and we're gonna make a show all around it. We're gonna focus on it, and we're gonna try and make it as exciting as possible, and more exciting, in my opinion, than combat has been on screen, because the stakes are so high, and because they're competing to be like the ultimate champion of the realm, is pretty huge. So, being able to partner with Dungeons and Dragons and with Idle Champions and actually use the characters and the art and the locations, it's yeah, we're living our best life over here trying to get this show going. So
It's
I'm
so
very, you
cool.
can hear my voices. Joel and I literally we had a slumber party for 2 days, lots of Chinese food and jokes and yeah, it was fantastic, and we got a lot done that we needed to get done. So more to come, more to come. I don't think I've given away any secrets. Do I have any secrets I can tell? One thing we're doing right now is we're playtesting. So the Smith Guardians, and the creative team, being Joel and I and Julian, are all kind of playtesting different levels and making sure when you do PvP, it becomes very, very important to make sure that things are as balanced as possible, which is impossible to make it completely balanced, but making sure that certain classes, like a wizard, won't just blow somebody off the table with a fireball first round. What levels does it even out? And we're playing with that right now. And so we're having people actually take control of the characters and do playtests over Zoom on maps. And we're just basically throwing characters at each other and see what happens. And then building kind of the rule set of this tournament together. Uh, Critical Bart says, only human matters, no other humans. Uh, I love it. Oh, I can't wait to have him on, and I'll get to meet him for the first time in person probably at
Oh,
in
yes.
LA. So, and then after the shoot, so we're flying out to LA to shoot, and then we're gonna fly directly to PAX in Philly,
Oh my God,
for
Jay.
PAX. So it's gonna be, yeah. I thought October was crazy. No, December is gonna be insane. So, yeah, that's the current thing. You've heard some things you haven't heard before, including seeing this awesome dice tray for the
It's
show.
so pretty.
And Critical Bard, you'll take one of these home.
So, just because I feel like this is going to come up at some point, is this a product that will be available for the public at all at any point, or is this
Oh,
an
that's a great,
exclusive for
yeah,
the people participating?
great question. That is a question right now, it was for us to have something that was Forged Gaming on the table with a logo on it. But that's a great question for Forged. I will absolutely ask them. Those are conversations that we'll have moving forward um, about that. But it came out so nice.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. Their stuff
Mm-hmm.
is such good quality.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Okay, so should we start talking about the episode then?
Yes. I've already seen a bunch of questions in the chat regarding who killed who. And and like, did Jason actually kill Sterling, or was it, yeah, there's already some chat about
Boy.
all of that. So
Well, why
it
don't we start
yeah.
with that? What are your thoughts on that, Jay?
Yeah, so we talked a lot about it last week, with Omega, but I mean, for me, that moment was incredibly collaborative. So, you know, and I think I said this last week, and I don't think I'm giving anything away for those cast who are watching, including Omega, um, and maybe just Omega, and that is that in that moment, I actually hadn't even planned for that to be the gift that Sterling was offered. And this is total inside baseball, honest DMing. Open up the hood and let you see kind of what goes on under the hood. But That was all done in the moment, and I wasn't going to include the amalgam until Brandon said, "Well, would the amalgam be there?" And I was like, "Yes, they would." And so that opened up a kind of another layer of the onion. And then it was like, well, let's dig deeper. And then I gave Brandon kind of an out by saying, you know, giving him a role. And there was a moment when he did a save, and he was like, well, I don't think one would be enough to overcome that person. So it was incredibly collaborative. And if you watch it back, there was a conversation that was happening, and he was throwing ideas my way, and I was bouncing off him. And we created this incredibly dramatic narrative moment that ended in tragedy, spoiler warning, but it was both of us together. And I think that that's what a DM's purpose is. A DM's purpose isn't to kill characters. A DM's, in my opinion, that's not how I DM. So my view on DMing is I am there to help create an incredible story with my players, and allow them and give them the opportunity to have fun and or meaningful experience. So maybe that wasn't fun for Brandon or for Sterling. You saw the look on Brandon's face, but it was meaningful, immersive gameplay that was entertaining and fun. I think it's still fun. Depends on what you find fun, but I think he had a great time.
Well, I mean, you don't come out of a movie like Green Mile saying that was fun, but
Mm-hmm.
it's an incredible movie that makes a
Mm-hmm.
lasting impression.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and
I think that's great storytelling.
yeah, and I think that that's the example I always use is Braveheart, where
Yeah,
spoiler warning for anybody who hasn't watched it in the last 20
I
years.
haven't.
Oh, you really?
It's okay. I already know though, because we've talked about
We
this so
should
many
have
times.
we should have asked that question before we hired you on Realmsmith, Hillary. That's a that's like that would have been grounds. That is Mel and my favorite movie. Um, we have watched it many times, right, Mel? And she says, mm-hmm. Um, we love that movie. It's a fantastic movie. And cover your ears, Hillary. When a main character dies near the beginning, um, it sets the tone. I remember watching that at like 12, 13 years old and being like, holy crap. And I remember it came out the same time around, and I think I said this last week, so forgive me if I did, but I think it came around the same time as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And at the end of that movie, spoiler warning, they all come in and they save everybody. They save him, they save her, and everybody's fine, everybody lives. So I thought, I was like, oh, that's gonna happen, right? Oh, that's gonna happen, right? No, it didn't happen. And then we know what happens at the end of Braveheart too. And I think that just, I've said it so many times, but I think that moment was a Empire Strikes Back moment. It's like you can't have the mountains without the valleys, or the mountains don't seem as majestic and incredible and life changing if the valleys aren't as deep as sometimes they need to be. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, John Wick wouldn't have been nearly as impactful if his puppy
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been murdered. And
Mm,
speaking of puppy
story
murder,
spoilers, yeah. Yes. Oh, Joel OJ.
let's discuss the rise and fall of Brino.
It was brief. The rise,
So
the
funny.
fall came quickly after the rise. I question Joel's sanity sometimes in sessions.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and I know that he got a lot of flack in the chat for it. Um, but I was even talking to Joel last night, and he's like, you know what? He's like, I live to entertain the folks at home, right? And that's kind of his purpose. And he loves playing D&D, and he loves his characters, but he is going to do things that are riveting and exciting and entertaining every time, despite how it affects his character, despite how it affects whatever. He wants to be entertaining, and he wants to entertain those folks at home and create a fun experience. And so that's what he's just an agent of chaos, is what he is.
Oh yeah.
Um, and we just and it makes it interesting. We've had some incredible moments because of Falfer, like the pie fight and in the Blue Water Inn, and I mean, there's so many moments where if Falfer hadn't left the tent, we wouldn't have had the whole hag thing happen. Like, if he hadn't accepted the deal, then he wouldn't be a hexblood. So many awesome things that are happening because he plays his character that way, and you need that. I think you need it in a party. We have two. But you need an agent of chaos, at least one agent of chaos in your party, I think, in my opinion, to make it interesting.
Just an important note from Ludari.
Hmm.
We were talking earlier about Jason actually killing Brino. While Joel sent him out there, Jason
Oh,
was the one that actually killed him. The wizard could have
no.
easily said, no threat and not shot, but no. I'm reading it as he put it.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have been fun.
But going back to what you were saying about how it's important to have an agent of chaos.
Hmm.
The plan in the room with the statue was run across as fast as possible with the protection that Noggins had put it, which also
Hmm.
amazing clutch use of Ice Wall. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was
But
very cool.
I think it's really, really awesome that Travas was like, no, I want to go check the statue. And even
Yeah,
though everybody else was like, no, just go do what you're supposed to do, he was like, no, I'm going to go do this. And because of that, we had this whole other extra interaction.
yeah,
So I feel like it says a lot about, yeah, it's good to stick to plans sometimes, but sometimes it's also good to go explore.
100%, 100%. And yeah, Omega with another clutch spell moment, much like
So
much like
good.
his wave moment on the bridge.
Oh yeah.
That's his function in that game is to come in. He's our pro player when it comes to rules and tactics and strategy with that kind of stuff. So yeah, so good.
When you're a player, do you
Mm.
prefer to subvert the DM's expectations and maybe stay in a tiny hut with elevator music the entire time? Or do you prefer to um go with the plan?
That sounds
What
like
do
a
you
personal
think
question.
is
I feel
better?
like I feel that that's fueled by possibly a real life moment. Um, that's funny. I actually like to play my character the way that I intended the player to be. So even though that was annoying, Hillary,
It wasn't.
that
I
I
loved
did
it. I
that,
thought it was
I
so
know.
funny.
I played him the way that I thought he would be played, right? So Hillary, speaking of the game that she ran when the Smith Guardians were in town, and I played Capri Shortpants, the halfling bard, who was very blasé and didn't really like adventuring, but liked money. And so when everybody else went into the castle that they were supposed to be going into, he was like, I'm just gonna hang out in my tiny hut, and built a tiny hut at the door, and then just took out his pipe and like enjoyed some tobacco while everybody else went in. And every once in a while, she'd cut back to me, and it was like elevate. So I'd play elevator music on my laptop while it was like this cut back where I was like lying on a bunch of. They were like dying on spikes and like gruesome like stuff going on, and they just cut back to me on a bunch of pillows with my pipe in my tiny hut. Because they were being reckless. He's like, I'm not going to be reckless. I'm not just going to run in and do things. I'm going to wait here. When you guys need healing, you can come back here, or I'll come in when you're done. So, which is what happened, kind of. But
All that to say, sometimes it's okay to go against what the plan is.
yes,
Critical Bard says, but now we're going to hear, see, I was right for the rest of the season. Which you're totally right, Omega.
yes, 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 we will.
So quick question from Kelly Preston. Where did you
Mm.
get the amber coffers?
Oh yeah, so the amber, that's a funny joke because I didn't have any amber sarcophagi so on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we stream at 7. So 4 hours before stream, I'm like, and Dave was at my house, and I'm like, I really need amber sarcophagi. So I grabbed some orange foam and I started cutting it out, and I don't have them here. They're at my place. I'm not at my place right now, but I started cutting them out, and I put them and I dry brushed them, and it was like the worst crafted terrain piece I've ever made in my life. And I put them kind of on the map, and Dave comes in, and I'm like, I know they look like carrots, and he's like, yes, they look like carrots. And I was like, man, it's horrible. And so then I was like, okay, well, I'll just wrap them in like the orange, not cellophane, but like the orange gift wrap, see-through gift wrap that I used for the walls in the temple.
So
And then I just
cool.
used tape because tape's transparent completely. And then I just put them back. So that's how I made them. That's how I got them. I made them in half an hour before
Totally
stream.
not carrots.
totally. Actually, it was more like by the time they were done, it was more like 5:30. So, and I probably spent like maybe half hour on them.
And as
So
such a perfectionist, I bet that was a little painful for you.
it was very painful for me. But I have
So
to
we,
realize like use and effort versus reward because these are going to be only shown in the Abra Temple. I'm probably never going to use them again. So why am I going to go through this job of like crafting this amazing amber sarcophagi that literally probably need for another episode or two?
yep. Also, just a follow-up question. I saw in the chat last week at some point, somebody was asking about the mini that you used for the giant statue.
Mm.
Where is that from?
I printed that from Hero Forge. So I built it in Hero Forge, and then I just sized it up and printed it on my 3D printer.
Wow. And then
Yeah.
painted it to look like a statue instead of a
Yeah,
person.
and I've been doing that for other statues and stuff. Yeah, Hero Forge is great for a bunch of different things, especially when you get creative. So such an awesome tool.
That's so clever.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could
it worked
print
really
Hero
well.
Forge minis at that size.
Yeah, well, you can't. I download the STL and then I just size them up in my 3D printing software to the full size that they can fit on the. He's not even big enough. He's supposed to be 40 feet. He's only about 25, 30 feet. So he should have been way bigger, but I did what I could with the size of the printing bed that I had.
It turned out beautifully.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
So
very exciting.
One thing I've been wondering about is we talked at length about Sterling's situation and what his cost was, but it seems like so far none of the other people that have potentially accepted gifts have had any obvious negative consequences. Is this something that we might expect to see more of coming up?
I'm gonna say,
Or did Sterling just get really unlucky?
What do you think? um, and
I just want to hear you say it.
Yeah, they're called dark gifts for a reason.
We'll see.
Otherwise, they'd just be called gifts.
Yeah. Question from Critical Bard. What are the odds of Travas saying yes to every single sarcophagus he touches? Pretty good, I'd say.
Pretty good, and I don't think he's the only one.
No.
I did not expect. Again, I didn't expect people to go Pokemon on the gifts.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, but that's absolutely what happened. So we'll see what happens.
Comment from Roman Wolf. I think he's a little bitter about when the Butcher came in. He says he still thinks his Braveheart reference should have given him advantage against the Butcher.
I'm so sorry. It came really close. You guys survived.
It was so
Spoiler
good.
warning, but it was close. And it came to me pulling back a roll because it shouldn't have been an advantage that saved Elena. So that was pretty awesome.
And just in case anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, on Halloween, we had a little mini excursion into the Discord. We assisted while Jason attempted to butcher people.
Yeah.
And this time failed. This time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So check out our Discord if you want to be part of this fun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mistra Ravenwind. Wow. Mistra Ravenwind. Is it me or has Travas been moodier slash edgier in the last 2 episodes? Is this because he accepted a dark gift or is it just teenage angst? Too bad Dave's not here to answer.
I asked him.
So all we can do is speculate. Oh, you asked him?
Yeah, he had his kids. No, I didn't ask him about the moodiness. I asked him to be here tonight.
Oh.
And he has his kids tonight, so he wasn't able to. But I'm just gonna answer. She asked me 2 questions. She asked, "Is it just?"
Oh, it got deleted.
That's okay. She said, "Is it that he had a dark gift, or is he just being an angsty teenager?"
Yes.
Then my answer is yes.
Okay. Okay then. That's your answer, Mistra.
And again, like people who are looking for negatives for the dark gifts, some of them have already started to manifest. You just have to watch closely. So that's all. That's all I have to say about that.
I need to go rewatch the last episode. Interesting. So far, everybody except Dimitri has been offered something. And I think everyone's taken it. Is there like a limit to how many dark gifts somebody can take?
We'll find out, won't we?
Probably, with the Pokemon theme going on.
I think we'll find out.
Yeah. What? Yo. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What happens if somebody reaches? Okay, I guess we'll find out. I'm worried. Oh, thank you. Thank you, John. He reposted the question, and yes, it was it because he accepted a dark gift, or is it just teenage angst? So yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
So are these questions not questions, are these gifts that you're offering straight out of the book, or have you modified them a bit?
So I've modified all of them pretty much, slightly, in length, in frequency, in flavor, and then I've also used some from Lunch Break Heroes. They have some awesome options, and then I created some myself. So there's yes to all. So just because, again, when you're watching stuff on our stream, we've changed things significantly. This is our Barovia, not just necessarily the Barovia from the book.
Yeah, there was a comment last week of like, oh, the party is plenty strong enough to go take on Strahd, and I was like, maybe the Strahd that's in the book. Not trying to give away too many spoilers or anything, but you never know.
Exactly.
Also, just a huge shout out to Lunch Break Heroes. We have used a lot of their stuff. Lots of their stuff. What is it about Lunch Break Heroes that like draws you to their content?
He's really creative. He really thinks outside the box when it comes to Chris Strahd. And he's also dark. Like, it takes it to the next level. Like the one I used, which everybody kind of knows that I use, was instead of back when the Corpse Bride. So when the abbot had his flesh golem, and typically in the book, spoiler warning for anybody playing Chris Strahd, she's looking for a dress. He's trying to find a dress for her that fits, or a wedding dress for Strahd, so that she can marry Strahd. Whereas Lunch Break Hero suggested it be her face. And I was like, that's a great idea. And we thought Irina's face, because Strahd loves Irina. So, of course, you'd put Irina's face, take her face off, and put it on. Yeah, so lots of cool stuff like that. I've bored a bunch. The gift that I offered Omega is from Lunch Break Heroes, and I've adjusted it.
Sorry, I can't wait to see that play out. This is all going to be like, I mean, it already has completely changed the party. Yeah. They're never going to be the same again.
No, Amber Temple changes, folks.
Yeah. I was going to ask what your favorite Lunch Break Heroes edition has been, but maybe it's the face.
There's a bunch that I used. The only one that I can remember other than the dark gifts was, the face was great. Yeah, there's a couple others, but the face was great.
I think that was probably
the flesh golem baby.
That was really good too.
It's a tight,
I didn't realize that was a Lunch Break Heroes thing.
Yeah, that was a Lunch Break Heroes thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Comment from our lovely Tam Good. Hi. She says, the books are more of a guideline. Imagination is unlimited.
Mm-hmm. And it's important, I think, that we offer an alternative Curse of Strahd so we don't ruin it for everyone who's playing it at home. And again, I remember somebody saying it the other day. Somebody commented, I think in YouTube on one of our episodes, it said, like, Curse of Strahd is like the Hamlet of D&D, where, no matter how many times you see it played, you can always watch it again, because it's just little intricacies and things that are different. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's so enormous, so I feel like you could play the same thing and it would just be completely different depending on, even with the same party, depending on what you choose to explore, Like maybe another party would have actually gone and found out what that crying was in the village of Barovia,
Mm-hmm.
which is still bothering me.
Mm-hmm. There's lots we haven't done. There's a ton of content that we haven't touched yet.
Yeah.
That is past now that we'll never touch because it's
Yeah.
too low level. So
Yeah, I was
yeah.
just prepping some stuff that I can't talk about in a city that they've already been to and are not going to be going to. And I try not to read it ahead of time unless I need to for what I'm preparing for the Discord. And there was so much there that just didn't get addressed.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool how it can be so different. Let's see here. A couple comments from Critical Bard. I think what was special about the Travas moment is that, let's be real, most of the time it's been a bad idea to go off and do something. This time it was the best idea.
Yeah.
It's so true.
So true.
He also says, no need to spoil anything, but do you foresee anything getting out of Amber Temple alive, or do you see there being some true potential problems? Not much truly dangerous has been seen, ... yet.
Yeah, so I've always said that Amber Temple's considered the party killer, or the TPK machine.
Yeah.
For my purposes, I have found that there's actually too much death in the Amber Temple. And I say that because for a live stream, we would still be in the first area if I threw all the creatures that were supposed to exist at the party. Because there's tons and tons and tons. And I'm like, I think that's boring. I think going from combat to combat to combat, from room to room to room to combat to combat would be too much. And so I've chosen very specifically, there's a lot more of the Amber Temple they haven't seen, but I've chosen very specific things for them to be able to see and interact with and are faced against. But the thing I would say for people watching is the danger isn't only encounters. Like the inherent danger of dark gifts, the inherent danger of making deals, the inherent danger of items. Like we're talking about long-term effects on the party that may not result in deaths in the moment, which may still come. There's a lot more to it. They dealt with the temple the second time around a lot easier. I know he says we haven't really seen anything yet, but he wasn't around when they almost got killed that first episode in the Amber Temple several times. So that was crazy. And because of the wall of ice and the way that they ran across that hall and are dealing with the creature that was inside the statue now, they subverted it, right? That's the way you should have done it, right? When they went in there first, they should have been like, okay, we're not just going to run out and do this. We're going to tactically, strategically figure out how to approach it, and which they did the next time, and it worked for the most part, except that they just got fireballed. But yeah,
Esmeralda tried real hard to prevent it.
She did, but no such luck.
Nope, no such luck. Tune in next week to see who survives. It's gonna be fine. If you could pick a dark gift, Jason, for your character in Curse of Strahd, which would you be the most drawn to?
Oh, I can't say that because not all of them have been revealed yet.
Of the ones that have been revealed. Sorry, I should have prefaced that.
I don't think I would have accepted any of the ones that were revealed yet.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah, I would not have. There are some coming, though, that I would have.
So. Well, then I'll have to ask you this question again in a couple weeks.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
And that actually makes me curious. If you were to join a Curse of Strahd campaign, what character would you want to play?
Probably play a paladin. I'd probably play like a super do-gooder that evolves over time into something not horrible so do-gooder. Well, not horrible evil, but like really questions his faith, his purpose, why he's here. Like I love the juxtaposition between something of pure good in a place of pure darkness, and how that kind of plays off each other and how they affect each other. And I love that.
And have
Oh, and I do play a character. His name is Kioran, and he's a rogue.
Oh, that's true.
On
That's
the
true.
Discord, and I love playing him. So
And what is he again? Just
he's
for
a
the
rogue.
audience's sake, because I totally know.
He's a rogue.
Oh.
He's a 18th level rogue. Half elf rogue.
Super sneaky.
Yeah.
Probably one of the only people in Barovia who can find Ludari if he hides.
Yeah, maybe. Although Rico has true sight, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe you're one of the only people that can out sneak Ludari.
That will absolutely say yes on that one. I'm sure Shat has other things to say about that, but although he did get caught and he did get, anyways, spoiler warnings, but yes, bad things happened to Kioran in the last couple months in Barovia. So
okay.
Yeah.
Question from Joe, one of our beloved technomancers. Thank you, Joe, for all that you do. So when they become the next evil of Barovia, ? Do we hunt them as Vistani? ?
When they say that again, I missed that.
When they become evil, the next evil of Barovia, like they're going to take Strahd's job, are we allowed to hunt them?
Oh, I don't know how well the hunting of the Seditious Six went.
People didn't like that.
Yeah, they didn't like it, so I don't know
No.
if we're going to grant that opportunity, but we'll see.
I think Joe liked it.
Yeah, that's true.
Question from Hell NY. You let characters roll investigation checks, etc. They see the results, and therefore they know if they can be confident in their conclusions.
Yeah.
Why not, and I'm going to add the word occasionally, why not occasionally have the DM roll to maintain uncertainty?
I like the players to feel like they're in control, and that even though I know my players trust me, I'd rather have them roll and determine their fate rather than me. I've had DMs before. When I was a kid, we used to do that, where when I was younger and when I started playing D&D at like 13, the DM would roll certain rolls for the players. But I trust my players enough to not metagame it, and to actually honestly role play the way that they think they should based on their role. If I had a party that I didn't trust as much, then maybe that's a different story. But I trust my group, and I have enough to deal with as it is to not have their character sheets up all the time with their stats. Yeah.
I watched a show that came out a while ago. I think it was Relics and Rarities, where the DM provided them the opportunity where every once in a while they could say, hey, you roll this for me.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting compromise.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Julia Taylor wants to know, any chance of the party making it back to the Bone Grinder to pick up anything left for the party members?
Has there been more stuff left? Do we know? Because they picked
Julia,
up a bunch of
has
stuff.
There been more stuff left?
Yeah, because there was a bunch of stuff that we picked up before.
They did go and pick stuff up not too long ago.
Yeah, before they went to Amber Temple. So yeah, if there's more stuff, for sure, we should come back and grab it.
Maybe we just need to like hire a Vistani to occasionally like deliver stuff. Vistani post.
Yep.
Dave's experience climbing this giant statue was much better than his last experience climbing a giant statue.
I don't know how he pulled this one out. And actually,
boy.
I'll tell you how. The creature inside the tower rolled really bad initiative, and so that whole thing, even getting across the temple and everything, would have gone differently if he had a higher initiative roll. Because he would have gone first, and it would have been different. Yeah.
Interesting. Yep. John said the stuff from Bone Grinder was already taken to Argynvost, so they just need to get back home again. There
you go.
Cool.
Oh, so we have stuff waiting for us at Argynvost?
It sounds like it.
Okay. Good to know.
Question from Helen. Why the hags are effectively gone through the deal that removed some tension in the game. Are you able to share insight on that choice? This cries for a big payoff. They added a lot.
So the hags aren't done. So where we left that was the hags promised that they would have, or Morgantha specifically promised Falfur that she would help him get through the Strahd's Castle Ravenloft, when that time comes. So they're very much still in play. They've just backed off because now they've made a deal. So we will
Are the
absolutely see more
hags
of that later.
are the hags part of the original campaign?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The meat pies, all that stuff are part of the original campaign in Bone Grinder. Yeah. I've made them much more apart. So I thought, with the party doing what they did, there's no way they just let that go. So they would continue to haunt the party until they could make a deal, and they have.
And
So.
boy, did they haunt the party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly I do kind of miss that tension and that stress from when
Mm-hmm.
not Travas, Falfer would be like about to go to sleep and be like, "What do we
Mm-hmm.
do?" And then Travas just being convinced that all you need to do is light a campfire.
Yep.
What were you thinking when Travas started making his way to the door and then found the door? Because you kind of hinted that you weren't expecting them to find that.
Sorry, which door?
To the statue. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I didn't expect him to, but it made sense, and it was great problem solving. You know, the idea that the statue was actually something that was holding a creature rather than the actual statue itself doing something. So the fact that Travas went around the back again, another clutch move from Travas, who instead of kind of just trying to evade it, tried to get to the bottom of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Roman Wolf is wondering what happened to the Vistani helping fix up Argon Vostold. We need cash.
I thought we already started that. Did we not start that yet? Because if we haven't, we'll work that out. Hopefully, maybe before. Well, yeah, in the next week or two, we'll do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually come up too much.
Actually, what we should do is have Critical Bards listening. Omega, you should definitely find out what you guys had decided to do, and then approach the Vistani. What I told the cast. And what can still happen is that they can play the hirelings of the party who are actually at Argon Vostold to go into camps and ask for stuff to be made.
Oh,
So
cool.
CB, if you can lead that charge, that'd be great. Yeah.
So we are a couple rooms into the Amber Temple. And they've already gathered many, many things. Is it going at the pace that you expected? Because I know that we were kind of trying to figure out how long they were going to take here. So how are you feeling about the progression through the temple?
It's slow.
It's huge.
It's Mitch. It's much slower than we expected. Yeah, it's much slower than we expected.
I don't know how you get through it faster though. Like that place is enormous.
Yeah. But that said, again, they're going at their pace. So I maybe miscalculated the pace at which they'd go. And we've had some really meaningful role play, and so I wouldn't change it. I don't think they've gone too slow. They just didn't go at the pace that I thought they would. Yeah.
I mean, it is such.
It's enormous.
Yeah, it's an enormous place.
And not only that, but it's a quintessential kind of peak moment in the story. So I didn't want to rush that. I don't want to rush that. And actually, because we're nearing the end here, I have a little bit of news maybe about the finale, potentially. So we'll talk about that at the very end.
Well, we're actually just about there because we're about 10 minutes to the end of the hour. So please.
Yes.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I love announcing things, and sometimes I'm not as bad as Joel, but I announce things too soon before they're actually a thing. But I just got confirmation today from some of the cast, and what we're trying to do, trying being the operative term, and because you guys watch Aftermath and you are the faithful few who join us every week to watch this, we are trying to do we're trying to do the finale of Into the Mist live from the studio, live from the Champions of the Realm studio in LA, the same week we're filming Champions of the Realm.
Oh,
So instead of having us live in Toronto area and the LA folks on Zoom, we're going to be live in LA with those folks, and then the Toronto people will be on Zoom. So we're trying to flip the script and do the finale from there. I don't know if it's going to work out. I probably shouldn't announce these things until they're absolutely sure, but we're pretty sure. I'm confident enough to say that it is likely that that's going to happen. And it would be fantastic if it could. I can't say everybody who's going to be involved, but it's going to be great.
that would be a fun way to flip the script.
Right? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be a fun way to end the season.
Because Omega and Nora are both in LA, right?
Yeah. And so
That
is
would be
Matthew Lillard. So
And so is Lillard.
So just happens to live in California. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know who can be there. I don't know all that stuff. We haven't completely finalized it yet, but that is what we're trying to do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting word that our audio is having some delay issues. So I
Is
think
it both of our audio or is it just you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just-
I asked. Yeah. I was asking because it looks on my end like it is, but it's okay.
Okay. Well,
All right.
we're about at the end of the hour anyway. So I will turn the floor over to you. But I feel like we've already talked about everything.
We've already talked about it. Yeah. I'm excited about Champions of the Realm. Stay tuned. More. We'll probably announce another sponsor on Monday of Champions, and then expect Fast and Furious updates and announcements getting closer to December. That's what I'll say.
Very exciting.
And then Monday is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I've been loving this whole Amber Temple series so very much. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. So tune in Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern to see what's going to happen, see who survives a fireball and who else is going to collect more dark gifts and whatever horrible things Jason has in store for us. So huge thanks to our sponsor, Forged Gaming. Thanks so much for having faith in us. Big thanks to Jason this evening for joining me and doing all the production things behind the scenes. Thank you to our Realm Watchers, our Technomancers, and our Weavers of all levels. You guys provide so much quality and value to what we do. So thank you all. To my fellow moderators, my beloved Smith Guardians, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all you guys do. And of course, thank you to our viewers, each and every single one of you. We couldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you all. And hopefully we'll see you Monday as we venture back into the mists.